we pause for a second or two. This is episode 192, Omega-3 fatty acids. In this podcast, in this material, we are talking about emotional skills. What we are learning, what we are refining, is that any given situation may actually be dealt with in an emotional way, in an emotionally skillful way. Every and any situation has emotions in it. All of them. It is always there. Emotions is always there. And they always affect the outcome. Sometimes the emotions in a situation affect the outcome so much that the situation might be regarded as almost purely emotional. That emotions is sort of making up the large part of what the situation is really about. Might not be that much about that much more than how we feel, actually. And emotions are always experienced by us in our bodies. We cannot have an emotion without it corresponding to how we feel in our bodies physiologically. So if I have an ache in my muscles, I will feel a certain way. If I am relaxed in my muscles, I will feel in another way. If I have a regular exercise, I will feel one way. And if I have been sitting still for many days in a row, I will feel in another way. We cannot separate emotions out from a situation, and we cannot separate how we feel in our body from our emotions. So, how we feel in our body, by ways of logic now, how we feel in our body affects every situation we are in. Today's episode is called Omega-3 fatty acids. And what we're talking about today is how much a difference omega-3 fatty acids do for how we feel in our bodies and how we feel in our emotions, and hence how we handle every and any situation. The Polaroid, the emotional skill of today's episode, is specific skill morning. Every morning when I get up, I make breakfast. Some breakfast, some coffee, and on my breakfast tray I always place a couple of omega-3 fatty acids supplements. Always. If I have them, if they're not out. And why I do that is because this single supplement, omega-3 fatty acids, makes the biggest difference. If you are a sensitive person or a person with keen senses, with great sensibilities, if you're a person who notice slight differences or notice when a feeling goes from one sense into another, omega-3 is really what to look for. Basically, what omega-3 fatty acids do is that they sort of make our brain and our body feel limber. In these times that we live in right now, there are so many different elements of stress, always pushing, always pulling, always demanding. And every time that we sort of change gear, every time that we change our focus from one problem to another, our brain, our thinking must do some gymnastics. We must do this sort of focus shifting. And when we have omega-3 fatty acids in our body, this focus shifting will feel lubricated. Like it is easy to change gear. It is easy to shift our focus. It feels sort of like if we have a bicycle and the sort of different gears in the bicycle, if they are oiled or not. With omega-3 fatty acids in our body, it will be like we have oil on these different gears, so that the chain on the bike may change gears in a smooth way. And the more gears, the more important it is to have good oil or good lubrication. And in these times, when the elements of stress are so numerous, so many, the need for that sort of help from these fatty acids is crucial. Every once in a while, I run out of these omega-3 fatty acids. My can is empty, and so I have to go without. And the same day, or the next day, but often just the same day, I can feel that I get irritated when I have to change focus in a drastic way. So it might be that I'm focusing on one issue, and then something in my day forces me to change my focus onto another problem. And that sort of focus shifting without the fatty acids in my body feels slow, or like there's a lag there, or like that my brain, my thinking, my personal response does not readily want to adjust. Like there is this increased effort on my part just simply to change what I'm looking at, change what I'm thinking about. There's this sort of lagging effect. And it can even be sensed in our visual sense. If we do not have fatty acids in our body, it will almost feel like, or it will feel like that when we look in one direction and then change what we're looking at, like there is this slight lag, this slight, like the shapes of things is sort of blurred somewhat. Another thing, when we do not have fatty acids in our body, is that our temples above and in front of our ears, inside our head where the amygdala is, the sort of stress center in the brain, that part of the brain would sort of feel like it's pushing, or like it has this sort of like when you're out running and you get this sort of burning sensation in your legs from overexerting your legs, that kind of feeling, but in sort of your temples. And what the effect is when we do not have this extra help of fatty acids is that if we with fatty acids feel that we might be able to think about 10 problems, let's say, during a day, without fatty acids we will feel like we have exerted ourselves maybe already at 5 problems. Something like that. It makes that big a difference. It makes that big a difference. Because energetically, our brain is consuming a lot of energy every time we shift our focus. So for example, if we want to get something done, if we want to conserve energy, we want to sit down and focus on the issue at hand for an extended period of time without being interrupted. And that way we are conserving energy and putting it where it's supposed to be. Whereas if we try to multitask and split our attention back and forth between many different things, all those shifts in attention will consume great energy from us. So multitasking is sort of very modern right now. We are often encouraged to multitask. However, multitasking is not very effective because a lot of energy is just wasted. And what is consumed when we multitask is us. Our immune system, our health is consumed when we multitask too much. So omega-3 fatty acids is sort of helping us with the multitasking we cannot escape if we want to be part of this society. But the multitasking in itself is also breaking us down long term if we do it too much. Some finishing words about omega-3. Emotions are always coming and going and flowing. And any emotion that cannot flow freely will stagnate and transform into something difficult to manage. So we always want good flow in our body. We always want our lymphatic system to be fresh, to exercise and move so that our lymphatic system may cleanse our body from toxins and waste. And then also we want something like omega-3 fatty acids to sort of help the body feel limber and sort of lubricated, so that all the vessels and all the sort of processes going on can flow freely. So taking this supplement, it does not make us happier. It does not change the way we feel at all. That's not the point. The point is not to alter how we feel. What it does, however, is that it helps us deal with any and every emotion coming and going in a fluid way. So we do not push away any emotion. We do not push away anything. We let it in and sort of experience it and let it pass. And that's what we need the flow for. That's what we need the lubrication for, to sort of allow for life, our experiences, enter and exit, come and go. A lot in our time, when people talk about supplements or medication or the like, is to alter our state. And that is not the point at all. Then we are just shying away from life, and that's not what it's about. Instead, something as simple as omega-3 fatty acids will give us the tools we need to sort of deal with whatever comes our way in a personal way where there is integrity. That is very important. So basically, exercise, eating well, and some omega-3 fatty acids. Then we will have what we need to emotionally deal with what is going on. That and, of course, all the emotional skills. Everything else we're talking about. But that's a good start of our raw materials, what to use, our sort of setup, what to use. And just that it's a really nice feeling to just feel nice and relaxed in our brain. It's terrible to feel strained and overexerted in our brains. It's not a nice feeling. Headaches and strain and tension, throbbing veins, it's not nice. And omega-3 fatty acids helps us a part of the way. It really does. That's it for today. Thank you.